That shut him up. My kid was sitting here singing as soon as I turned it on. Yeah, I was just saying, let them cook. It usually takes a while before people kind of come in if they're going to come in anyway. So, yeah, the sun is shining. We've been starting to get those 10,000 kilowatt days. I need to get myself over to the hardware store, get some more of that R19 6-inch, and start running the summer setup, because I want to leave the ductwork that I have right now for the winter setup. The pieces that I have still attached to the HVAC, so I can quickly switch back over once summer's over. Just be easier that way. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because then we'll see that pro Bitcoin miner running at least 6 to 8 hours a day, at least until we can get back to the winter setup. And then that's nice about the winter setup is that those things are running for quite a bit in order to keep the home warm. But yeah, it's nice to see the sun coming out. Is the sun coming out over there?
Well, it's dark now, but it was. We've been getting longer and longer, times with the sun up, and I mean, it's just been killing it as far as bank and solar, and where I've got those two down right now with the it's looking like the fan emulators went out on them, which is weird because I've never had that happen before, and it kind of went out on both of them at the same time. So it's showing two dead fans, and it looks like the safety buildup in the ice river miners is actually pretty good. It's actually shut them down and isn't letting them run. So it's like I can't be too mad about that, but it'd be nice to have them running.
Yeah, that's it. That is interesting. Didn't you hook up a Infinity S8 like turbine induction fan system to one of those KS1s?
Yeah, and it kept them absolutely, just like 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. So, I mean, it kept them cool. Never once even flirted with overheating them. So, and it was weird. Like I checked, I had no power outages, nothing. It just, they were, you know, down. So, you have some of those days, you know what it's like. Every now and again, you'll get some bug that pops up and gets you, and then, you're wondering what happened. And sometimes they straighten themselves out on their own, and it doesn't make any sense about what's going on, but we'll troubleshoot them. That's kind of what we do. We troubleshoot stuff and then fix it and go on to what was next. I know we got a couple others popped in. Logan and Jason and Greg are in there repos now, so I don't know if anybody wants to. I guess for this, if you want to have a question later on, just put a request up. We'll keep it open for a little while. I'm trying to get my old miner that is now running as a PC, my iPad, and my phone all together to kind of work at the same time. So as we kind of do a little more of these, we'll see how it goes and make sure we do these as efficiently as possible. Because I kind of like this option too, as we have 300 people in the group, but if we've also got 300 people that follow us on here on X, so we have who knows how many people total, maybe 400 or 500 people that can catch us between the two. So yeah.
Come back in because I wanted to put a headset in because the boy started singing DuckTales again. He was just kind of drowning everything out. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's good that the temps are down, at 50, and that you got that S8 fan on there. And yeah, you're so right though. These machines can be problematic and give issues. I'm actually yeah, I haven't felt like, that I'm out of the woods still, and it's been, gosh, I don't know, 2 weeks with the Troublemaker KS1 actually firing on all cylinders on all hash boards without any drop, and I haven't had to reset them or anything. And plus, overclocked it, put the 1250 Ice River GitHub overclock file on it, and it's been running fine on it. Other than noticing that it's just a tad bit less hash rate than what it originally had when I first started that, before I started doing some more DIY and trying to test some different theories and avenues as far as overclocking and running duct work and thing while I was on the heat to home with Kaspa and Bitcoin setup. But just yeah, you're so right. It's who knows? Those fans could just decide to work, or whatever that fail safe is. I don't know if we try to reset or any of that kind of stuff to see if that could rectify that situation or what. But yeah, they do have a mind of their own from time to time.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like if you just set them and forget them, so to speak, they run forever. And then once you start messing with them, that's when the problem is. You know what I mean? It's like plug them in, put your stuff in, let's go, and it's fine. But it is what it is. It's the growing pains. We're learning this on the
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there for a minute, I was just kind of feeling a little low and a little defeated there. I mean, you pay a bunch of money, and then it's kind of like, oh, what am I doing now? I mean, and then you send them into warranty or whatever, and you get them back, and it's like they did nothing to it. Is my situation. And then still having issues, and it's like, well, do I want to send it back to them and have them just get it running for 5 minutes and think that it's fine and send it back to me after paying $300 for shipping or whatever? And because I care about GreenMiner that much, I care about our holders that much, and it like keeps me up at night, that the machine is down, and it's nice that we have the community that we have and the holders that we have and the vision, and things are coming together, because yeah, it's made it a little bit easier. But I think it's because of the community and the holders and just what we have going as far as the team and everything too, that makes it easy for me to stay up at night and get like the summer set up after working a full-time job, or run into the store and paying whatever I gotta pay to get whatever electrical components, or ductwork components, or whatever, to get prepared for the next phase. Yeah, it's been it is it's not it's been it is yeah, it's an honor, really, is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's definitely for sure. Well, what do you all think about getting rolling with this? We're about 9:13 my time, so about a few minutes after we planned on starting. Because I wasn't going to do the burn until after we got done with our announcement.
Yeah, I think 13 minutes or so is good for any stragglers that may have set a notification and had dropped their phone in the toilet or something like that to get another phone and get in here.
Oh, well, yeah, that sounds absolutely horrible to drop a phone. But yeah, so I guess never done that. Now you have me paranoid about it. So I'll go ahead and get going.
Oh god.
So This is actually what I feel like is a pretty big announcement. It was something that I had been a little bit working on for about 5 or 6 days, and then had been brainstorming it for about a week beforehand. So I had about a 2 hour conversation last night with our investor, the one that purchased the 3 miners that we just got up and running about 10 days ago, which for the record have produced over $2,000 already. So after speaking with him, we got together and came up with a way to get these miners onto Gem burning faster. We started crunching the numbers, and it looked like it was going to take about 7 to 10 months area for repayment. We just didn't feel like that was, quick enough. So after I pitched an idea to him, he agreed to accept Gem tokens in lieu of money. So what we will actually do, I have sent him $2,000 total. He is going to do a $2,000 buy at some point in time today. And we agreed that 5,500 tokens would be a fair amount at this price point for him to buy with the mining funds and then hold them till a minimum of $10 per token. Now, we also agreed that he would not sell these tokens not only before $10, but not in a bulk sell. So less than 1,000, he had mentioned maybe 200 to 300 at a time spread out to regain this money. So what that does for us is gets us off of having to keep these miners in one place and paying someone out, consistently $1,000 every 8 to 10 weeks until maybe even November if prices stay somewhat stagnant. This will hopefully get us to where these will be burning Gem middle of June. We will basically, every time we get $1,000 in the payment wallet, we will send that $1,000 to him, and then he will do the buy himself, so we won't have a double transaction tax. And then once we hit that 5,500 threshold, those miners will then be signed over to GreenMiner and will be our physical property at that point in time. Even if the token price is only worth about $10,000 or $15,000 total, $30,000, whatever. That will then satisfy the debt, and then he is willing to set on those tokens until they reach a certain point that we can consider that even. That also brings us into some spots of what do we do going forward. He actually has some connections with, works with some other groups of people that invest as well. We are going to kind of use this as a trial method of how we can get equipment online and get it online faster than we would be if we had to give a full dollar amount as we kind of build up. So if we can make this work with him, he's willing to take it to these groups of people and show them our model, how our business is playing out, and how we can pay with Gem tokens by using these miners to buy, basically to buy their tokens to establish their worth. One of the big holdups as we would go beyond him and as we start to get into higher and higher investment levels is the fact that this is owned by an individual. Without getting too much into his personal life, he works in the financial sector and helps people set up and manage businesses as far as like tax structuring and ownership and how to do things the correct way and the legal way, which would lead us to starting the process of creating a green energy miner C Corp entity, which is a corporation. It's incorporated as a legal business. So what that does then is makes us legitimate to not only the investors that he's trying to look at now, but also once we move past that to establishing our own mining facility, which is something we've always talked about wanting to do. This is a necessary step to get to there. This also gives the holders and myself some security in the sense that when people look at this and who owns this is an established company. Green Energy Miner will be an established company that will have a physical address that will be paying taxes and have fees based off of what these miners do and don't do. So if there's ever an issue, you can look back and say, okay, this is established in this state. This is its address. This is, basically someone you could come after if you felt like you were financially done wrong. It also frees me of tax liabilities because it keeps me from having to cover taxes on what Jim makes right now. The mining stuff, right now we're burning 100%. So we're reinvesting essentially 100% of what we make. When we get to the point that we have to have bigger miners, we're going to have to do something to keep maybe some miners offline as far as from Jim, but payout similar to how we're getting our payments now for the investor. So when it comes to that point, then you start to look at as far as, income taxes, gains taxes, and things like that. So, it keeps me from, losing my house or something like that. We can work a little bit better through the system as a corporation than some guy at his house. So those are our two big announcements. I hope that you guys are excited about that as I am. I think it's to see someone that has been a holder for maybe 2 months, willing to put. I think the total number was slightly over $45,000 out of his pocket, and is willing to take about $20,000 worth of tokens at today's price and hold them. Show faith in us to grow the project. Show faith in the people, that have held through the tough times, that have came through and just stuck with it. That they know that we're not just going to dump on this person. That he's going to be able to set on these tokens, and if it takes 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, he's going to make his money back plus a little bit of interest. So, like I said, I hope that's exciting for you all. To me, I feel as though this is a big step. We always kind of wondered, how do we get past my basement and Jay Sizzle's basement? It carried us to this point, and now it's to the point that this outside money is going to carry us much farther beyond what we could do here. And then as we get this settled in and straightened out and figured out how this works and flows best, we can continue to seek more investments, maybe continue with the same people that we're reaching out to now. If we can do investment with them, pay it off in a timely manner, they might look at us as someone that's worth their time to keep investing in. So here in a minute, I'll go ahead and do the burn. I'll just kind of open this up. If anybody else has questions, I know there's 6 of us in here, so it may not be that much. Nobody's posted anything in Telegram either. So if any of y'all have questions or comments, you want to, bring up, go ahead. Floor's open.
I bet Repo's he's happy about this announcement. He's already getting prepared to game the the burns and the injections.
Yeah, and I had asked the investor who's going to buy that $2,000 worth of tokens to hold off until after we announced it, so people could hear it. I wanted to at least give people a chance to know what was going on before, before we did anything. But so I went ahead and told him, here's the go ahead, and he actually said that. So we have the payment wallet, which is set up that you can track. He has a fresh wallet that's going to hold the gem token, so you'll be able to follow that on, the Block Explorer. You can follow the transactions. You'll be able to see the tokens, see when we've gotten to that point, see when he sells. So when we get to that $10 threshold, which I think now we're going to be going from like 0.4, 0.5 BNB to 2.1. We're going to get there a lot quicker. So it's definitely it's definitely going to be beneficial, and I just got the word from him he's going to be buying any minute, so you'll see a $2,000 buy, then we'll do the burn afterwards, because I want him to get as much tokens as he can from that, and get us to that 5,500 line as quick as possible, because as of now, my goal, and a lot of this is based off of just what the market looks like right now. Our June 14th burn hopefully will be the last one where we have to send money out for the miners. So and hopefully June 15th, June 16th, something along those lines. these 3 miners get kicked onto Gem.
Sorry about that interruption. I had a call come in. Hopefully that didn't bother you guys too much. Apologize
Oh
for
no,
that.
you didn't. Nothing popped up on here we didn't hear. But
Jonathan, welcome. Yeah, this is extremely exciting and extremely bullish. And it's interesting that you're dropping this information, and like I feel like we're right where we're supposed to be. You can never tell what can happen in this space, and what can be accomplished. And I remember listening to you just talk about the other day. Listen to that recording at that open mic you did the other day too, about how taking over this project at 11 cents, and hearing the host talk about, well, wow, and not only that, but striking balls too was talking about, geez Louise, and his co-host about, when he was looking at that time, it was about $1.50 or something like that, and it was just like for them, like, wow, this thing is really moving, um, and I keep reflecting too, when I picked up that KS3M, was like, you know, um, it was a big decision for me, and and it just needed to be done. And it's one of those decisions, like, I mean, I'm sure you probably felt the same way when decided to go and throw a few grand at, those Kaspa miners. Like, you just kind of, because we're human, you kind of think about it a little bit, and here we are, the things moving forward, it's getting bigger. We're getting investors, and like you just announced that, going to be becoming a corp. You know, uh, yeah, it's just meant to be. It just feels good, and it just feels like uh, it's just meant to be. It's how I feel about it.
yeah, and the cool thing is I feel like, and this is one thing that I always try to hammer into anytime we have an AMA or anytime open mic, whatever. You know, we've all been a part of these mining tokens that make all these promises and make this money, and they go away. Like we built a foundation. We've taken 11 months actually. It'll be a year, May 7th. Um, we built the foundation because we wouldn't be getting investors like this if we just you know shilled it to $3 or $4 and then nothing came of it. We had to put in the work. The group had to hold steady through it, and they had to believe in us. And for some reason, they got behind us. And whether it was just there was no other option, or they thought that we actually had something that we could do. Whatever it was, we appreciate it, and hopefully they can see the continued growth. And getting this first investor on board was really the big deal for us. It's kind of like, well, what I feel like will break the dam for the mining side of it. And we're doing pretty good at just bringing people in and getting people to stick around and hold on, and getting our smaller setups running. But to really stretch this out, we had to get outside money. With not using funds from transactions like most people do. And that's one thing I brought up at our last AMA. Like, we don't take money from people's transactions to pay our bills. We're earning it, and that's why we're going to probably have to set up our next round of investments are probably going to have to be miners that don't burn gem. They're going to have to be miners that put a stable coin in our pocket that we can use to pay electricity, that we can use to pay for new miners, and just you know keep stacking. And if we're making if one miner's making us $100 a day, well, and we're 75% of that is profit, then great. But when we do that with 10, 15, 20 miners, that's going to be even bigger. And we just got one buy come through, $1,000 buy. I wonder if he's going to do it in 2 batches, or if somebody else did it. I'd say that's let me open the scan. I'm going to say that's probably Oh, this might not be him. This might be somebody else.
It might be Repo. I'm gonna watch out for Repo.
No,
He'll game. He's a gamer for real.
I think this is him. I think that's him. So yeah, that looks like it's our buy. But that just kicked us up. Uh, 70 $1.75. I'm gonna let him get both of these in before we jump on the actual burn. Yeah, that's nice to see. There's the second one. All right, so we're almost at $1.80 now. I'll get back to you all. So yeah, he did them in 2 different transactions. Looks like he pocketed about 1,100 gem into that wallet. So we're a fifth of the way there to these miners payoff. So I think
That's unreal.
yeah. Yeah, it has. I'm looking at the wallet right now. And like I said, you guys can all follow this on BSC Scan. If you click on the last 2 buys, there was one and it shows the wallets. You can click on that and you can see, like I said, there's 1,005 tokens. So we're just under a fifth of the way, through this. It took us up to $1.79.7, which I'm going to go ahead and do the burn now. Let me make sure I'm doing this on my computer this time. It'd probably be easier if I just did it on my phone. I don't use this desktop very often anymore as a desktop. It was my miner, and it actually hasn't ran in a while because I gave Anthony the power supply to use for his one of his setups.
Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting for you to drop that bomb like that. I mean, it's massive alpha, and it's it's a complete surprise that even the thought. I mean, just the whole. I wanted to thank you and say, big ups to you for putting this together, first of all, and that extends to the anonymous investor as well, because, it's a huge investment, and, just thank you for everything that you're doing with GreenMiner and, putting this together. And I'm that whole process of just that and it going down and coming to fruition and happening right before our eyes has just been amazing. And then now to hear that, they want to hold more gems, so they're just, like reinvesting it right back in and putting the miners on. I mean, that's so bullish. Like my head's exploding right now. Like I probably don't sound as excited as I really am because it's just like processing it. It's like, it's really unreal, but that's just how crypto is, one day from the next, you just don't know. And here we are. I mean, I, the product itself is great. The tokenomics, the pairing and everything. I mean, we just had a massive drawdown where Bitcoin went all the way down to like 58, 59K and the altcoins dropped 50%, and we didn't freaking budge, because of how we're set up and what we're doing. So it's flight to safety, like Larry Fink would say. It's yeah. Anyway, don't even.
Well, no, but I mean, it's just like we all know how we got here through different channels, different tokens, and it's like we had this vision 2 years ago when we tried to take over the other token, and we couldn't get him to do it, and we just did the burn, and we're not $1.80, $1.80. That is what 18 times what it was a year ago. But we knew we could do this. That's the thing. It's like
Yeah, pretty close.
so. It's like we have this trajectory, and it's like now we're kind of seeing what we knew we could do. This isn't something that is a pipe dream now. This is a reality, and now we get this coming out. Sorry, I just verifying with the investor to make sure we're all good. So he did 2 buys on purpose to do that. So we'll just see how much it makes each $1,000 buy. So, I mean, that's kind of a cool thing. So we can track what these buys looked like today and what they look like in 6 weeks. Because a $1,000 buy is not going to get you 500 tokens for much longer. I mean, it's going to be 200 or 300 tokens. So that's the cool thing about this is we're going to see it go up based off of what our token count is going to get us. So that kind of has me excited in a way, because it's like, when we were talking about this with him and we were throwing out numbers of how many tokens and what stuff, I was like, you realize we have like 50,000 tokens in the PancakeSwap router right now. That's it. There's no other tokens. The rest of them are in holders, and we've burnt maybe 50,000, or I guess we burnt 62,000 tokens, which is great. But of those 62,000 that was burnt, there's only 40,000 right now, like 46,000 left in circulation.
It's crazy. But it's not so crazy because we just been living it day in and day out.
Yeah, it's been an everyday. It'll be nice when we get to the point that, I don't know when the time comes for automation, but I know that we're not too far off from it. Then do we do a burn every time we get one BNB in the wallet? Do we do it at this? Do we do it every, just set it on Fridays? We still got some stuff to go that's, kind of trying to figure it all out. But, for now, what we're doing is working really well. And it's crazy too to look at, we had that one early investor that sold out, 2,000 tokens, and it's listed at, I think, February 5th. And we were at 68 cents when that sell happened, which took us down to 61 cents. So we're 3 times from February 7th to April 20th. We're at a 3x from that. And I mean, just scrolling out, it's just ridiculous. And you can see, you follow the chart, you can see when a new miner went online. It's like, oh, there's a little bit up there because we got something online, then a little bit there, then a little bit there, and then that big jump in we got some bigger miners online in November, and then when that KS3 went online, that really pumped it up too. But it's just been from February 7th, from the day that guy sold everything out, the one that was in the admin group that just kind of was done with us, for whatever reason. I think.
Yeah, real nice guy too.
So
real nice guy.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if we pissed him off, or if he just was tired of waiting, or he just got to a break-even point and he said, all right, I'm out. But I know he sold for about $2,000, and that would be worth about $6,000 right now.
Yeah. It's I'm looking at this chart at the same time while I'm listening to you, and I'm scrolling back to when we started, and I'm looking at that dip, and it's got me just thinking about, these 3 KS3 Bitmains, getting hooked up to the gem mining pool and freaking bringing in, we're going to be seeing, like, right now, just looking at what those are, what they're bringing in, and then what, we're bringing in right now. And that's not even the 2 KS1s that, you have that we're, repairing right now, about, close to 175 to, $200 a day, depending on, the volume of the markets.
Yeah, it's $1,000 burns every week.
You know, that's yeah. That's and like you're saying, once we hooked that KS3 up, things started to really kind of run, and then so I could just imagine, having three more of those hooked up, like what that's going to look like. Then our burns are just going to be just crazy, um, you know, 3x every week.
Yeah, it'll be more than 3 because it's 21.9
Yeah.
21.9 terahash that will be coming online.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing too. If anybody wants to, we got that donation wallet, or if anybody wants to help out, or we'll take it too, because anything that gets us online quicker is good for everybody.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I totally forgot about that.
I mean, we're not begging for it, but if somebody decides they want to send something, that donation wallet, which is the same as the payment wallet, we're not going to stop you. We'll send it on to him and push that through as another buy.
You heard the community, they spoke and they said, yeah, put those KS1s on the, anonymous investor, uh, payment process to, get those miners paid off quicker and on that gem hashing pool. So I wasn't surprised to see that, but again, it just shows kind of how the community, that their mindset. We've got some really smart people that are in our community that are investing in gem and being a part of this whole thing. They know, like they get it, and that's it's huge.
Yeah, yeah. It really, the community support really, it it just strengthens everything, because when you got a group of people behind you, it's like, I'm not perfect. I'm going to make a bad decision here, there, or somewhere. It's going to probably happen, but it's like everyone just understands we've got the same goal. Sometimes it doesn't work perfectly, but it'll always go the right way, even if it's a small jump.
And I'm recording this. We'll end up putting this on the YouTube, the GreenMiner YouTube, and so I definitely want to make sure that I thank you all. I mean, thank Jason B, Logan. I mean, like you said, the donation wall, that was like his idea. I mean, he threw money in there, was able to really move things forward. He's been working behind the scenes. He's been just killing it. He's been, getting us around, introducing us. And like you were saying that earlier today, I think too, was, I mean, it's kind of like a catalyst for just the way that things have been going here recently, so these things are transpiring because of that. So it's like just you guys, all of you, and Greg's in here, he's listening too, and he's working on getting his KS0 online, and like having community members like that are you know uh a man of their word or a woman of their word. I'm sure there's got to be some females in our community. I just got to try and keep it real, but just keeping your word, integrity. It's really what this is all about. The space, if you see that all the time, like you're saying, we all met up in another project, and it's unfortunate. It's like that out there, but we're not trying to do that here, and we're trying to keep it real. We're trying to be transparent, have integrity, and do this thing the right way, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that with the community members as well. Yeah. So Greg, man, appreciate you. Um, everyone's just been great.
Yeah, it's been I hope we never lose this small group feel. It's like it was 120 people when we took over all this, and yeah, it's only 300 now, but we have quite a few that are regular, people that talk on a regular basis, and seeing that is, I hope we don't lose that. That's one thing I hope we can keep going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will, because how I'm feeling about GreenMiner is that like this alpha, you're dropping this alpha, and it's like I don't feel like I'm sounding very excited, but I am. But it's just like it's meant to be. So I think that all of us that are here, even the holder that you were talking about that was from the start with us, and they're not here because of whatever reason. It's like you know um they're important, they're a part of the process. He was part of the process, and I've even seen some people hit me up and kind of be like, wow, I kind of wish that I hadn't, because there was a couple that we saw along the way, but I had no idea who it was or whatever, but since they felt inclined to hit me up later and be like, hey, how's it going, blah 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 blah, and yeah, that was me, got him a thing or whatever, and now look at the price now. He's like telling me that they're getting in and getting it back in at a higher price, and it sounds cliche and you hear that kind of stuff all the time, but it's happening in GreenMiner.
Yeah, it's happening quicker and quicker because the weird thing, and this was when we were talking last night, finalizing this thing with our investor. I was like, the weird thing about our project is normally as the price grows, the buys don't make as big of a hit. But with the way we're doing and the way these burns, just 100% of that buy is removed from supply. And as the supply just keeps getting smaller and we only have 48,000 tokens available, it does jump because there's not the supply and demand. It's a simple supply and demand thing. We just keep removing the supply, and our demand is continually went up.
Yeah, I mean, we were at like around the dollar range there. It seemed like we were kind of almost, I was like, are we struggling? Like, what's going on, And yeah, it was really nice to see once we broke through that range, that area there. It's been kind of just taken off since, especially like you were saying after hooking up the KS3M, and people really believing in getting in and being supportive, seeing the way that it's moving. Because I've always felt, even before on the previous owner, that the way that the coin moves, like with the tokenomics and everything, that it's so simple, like you're saying. It's just supply and demand, and watching it move. And I mean, I don't even know. I'm having a difficult time with BSC right now. Again, trying to pull things. Oh, here we go. Finally up. Okay, so we're under 195,000 tokens. And let me see where we're at here with that. I want to see our market cap, which is 355, and our liquidity 171. So we still, yeah, it's good to see that our market cap is higher than our liquidity, because there for a long time our liquidity was higher than our market cap because it's just the way that the token's been structured.
Yeah.
Because we're a part of an ecosystem, and that ecosystem buys into Gem from time to time to support their vault and their holders within their vault. So it's unique. It's unique, and so we see buys from there too, not just from anonymous investors and our machines buying back and burning from hashing, but also the mothership, the DeFi bank, that we're an umbrella of, a part of the ecosystem. They come in here when they're generating revenue from the stablecoin CZUSD and from vault revenues and yields from Ellipsis Finance, where they have CZUSD sitting there because it's a stablecoin arbitrage ecosystem, and CZUSD is in there, and they vote every month, and there's rewards to people that hold CZUSD and do arbitrage with CZUSD. And they're paid another token through that DeFi bank, through the DeFi bank, and they come in and they buy gem, and they give gem to holders that want to put their tokens into the vault, and as well as some other coins that are in the ecosystem. So it's a really cool thing, and um, yeah, seeing the coin still move like it moves. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long time before the coin becomes like a digital gold. And I know that sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but um, like Kyle was alluding to, we can be at $10 real soon. And I remember you were in the chat too, Kyle, and you were saying, who knows what this summer is going to be like? Who knows what the end of summer is going to be? I mean, and you're already saying that the private investor is, willing to make this move and get these, KS3 Bitmains hooked up to the hash pool, like by June. Like, I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Who knows?
Yeah, and Jason just posted a question. He asked if Gem was the highest, the most valuable, highest market cap in the CZ ecosystem. I think if you take CZUSD out of the equation as far as the stable coin, there was it CZ Red? Is that the one that's kind of like the banking token? It's got like a $2 or $3 million market cap. And then there was another token, and I'm not sure what's going on with it. It had like a $700,000 market cap, but it's below us now. And then I think yours, Doge
Mhm.
got it. We're similar, aren't we? But I mean, so we're the top three if you take CZUSD out of the equation. It's the CZ Red, us, Doge God, and I think, does that sound about right? I don't think there's any of the other ones that are up there yet.
Yeah, I look more at the liquidity versus the market cap, because with tokenomics, you mean the market cap can be all kinds of different things, and the liquidity can be all different kinds of things. And our liquidity is higher than Doge God, and it looks like we've surpassed the other coins in the ecosystem. So I mean, that's a real win for GreenMiner, because with that being said, of course, the owner of the bank is going to take consideration to the projects that are able to do that, and develop tech, keep us in mind when developing tech, and you know always looking towards that project that is having that liquidity intact, and being a solid structure for the DeFi bank when making decisions. So, I mean, it's really great that you brought that up. I hadn't thought about it in quite some time, and I just went through and I flipped through all the coins while you brought that up, and that is the case. So, that's the most important thing is the liquidity value for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, if you think about it as what of the tokens that aren't um, owned or ran or functioning as a part of the CZ DeFi platform, yeah, we would be the highest in probably market cap and liquidity. So yeah, if that answers it, Jason, a little bit better, I guess. Um, I don't want to sound like a douchebag, but I guess we are the number one on that one. But that can change. That doesn't mean any of these other tokens couldn't fly right past us, even if we continue on our trek. So I definitely want to be the number one. I want to be the high. I don't know what the highest of any of these other tokens market cap has gotten, but I want to get to the highest, and then I want to be the first at 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 million, whatever. I want to be the first one. That's a little
Yeah.
competitiveness that I have, but I want them to come up with us. I want the whole, rising tides lift all ships, right? So, I mean, if we can make a big push and people can see it, then they'll start buying the other tokens in the ecosystem, and they can, all of them can make money. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that buy just other tokens on the ecosystem, especially when you get on CZ Cash and you can just click on the other tokens and you don't have to worry about contract addresses. You just click a button and it automatically switches it to that contract. So I'm sure there are some people that do that, and if we can help in any way, shape, or form bring people in that buy up other tokens too, that's great. The more people we can get in this ecosystem, we've, you know, jumped some hurdles, especially with PancakeSwap and a few other things, and we seem to be able to get stuff done that um, people don't seem to think we can do. I mean, that was the big thing we took over. Well, you can't buy it in one swoop on PancakeSwap. Well, yeah, you can now. And then we had an issue when they updated CZUSD, and then it went back to the old way, and then we turned right around and got it fixed again. So, we're not perfect, but we're going to keep pushing it forward. It's going to keep going. We just keep, the ecosystem and us and some few other tokens, we just keep bringing it all up together as a group. And who knows where this ecosystem may be 5 years from now. It might be a big major player. It might be spread across multiple blockchains. You might see it pop up on Solana or Base. It may do something, BSV, whatever comes along, and that's actually great for us, because if we can get, support into blockchains of tokens that we mine, if we can get Kaspa support on there, then we can, mine directly to a wallet that's in our ecosystem instead of having to go through, Unmineable or whomever else. We can have our own mining pool that's through our ecosystem, and it just automatically converts it into BNB or CZUSD, whatever, and then it functions by at our set parameters. So, the more we can grow the ecosystem within ourselves is better for us selfishly, but for the group as a whole.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that too, is, people have timelines, right? I mean, I've got timelines. I'm sure you've got timelines as well, in the greater crypto market per se, because, it's, based on, uh, uh, demand and liquidity and like all these things, where GreenMiner is, paired to a stable. So the market capitulations, it's immune from that. So if we're continuing to grow, we're continuing to get more miners, we're continuing to, be trusted, it's a safe place to have your cash, um, and not have to worry about the bear market and capitulation from investors that need to run from the hills and do something different with their money.
Yeah. And a lot of people like to see those big flies up. Like, if we were to peg to BNB, yeah, our price would probably be higher right now. But then what happens when it goes on a downward streak again, and it drops down to $300 a token from $550? It's going to lower our price too, and then that's when people think the sky's falling and start selling. At least anything, yeah, we may not make these big leaps with the market as far as, like if we were tied to BNB, but we're not dropping either. If BNB dropped to $200 tomorrow and we woke up, we're still going to be at $1.80, pending someone selling. But you get the idea. If it's still, it's not going to fluctuate based off of that.
And that makes me kind of, when I'm out looking for certain things or whatever I'm doing, I'm playing the market or whatever, it's like I typically don't look after a while, because if the market's down and everything's down, it's like, well, everything's down. It's like, I don't know, because everything seems to be tied together, because it's tied to the market, because it's all paired to the same dang native coin, and is having that problem or that issue.
Yeah.
Um,
In a big market downturn, if we can just stay green, even if it's 0.1%, we're going to be the top of the board. Everyone's going to be like, oh, everything's bleeding, but this one token is still green. So that might be something that helps us, get noticed. And
I don't mean to turn the dull spoon, but GreenMiner is close, but it hasn't had the highest liquidity amount than one of the other ecosystem tokens. But it is getting close, and when it surpasses it, I'll let you know.
how much are we talking?
I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that, because like I'll let you cook.
Well, you're good at letting us cook. I know Anthony and I talked for 2 months about what miner you bought, and we couldn't figure it out. And we were convinced that when you bought that KS3, that you bought like an S19 or something. So I don't do well with cooking thoughts. I can hold my own in a real kitchen, but when I'm trying to make up thoughts, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
But you burn us on that one. We definitely were wrong on that one. It was like we were looking at the picture you posted, and we were doing reverse lookups and finding places, and it was just a stock photo. And I was like, "This is an S19 K Pro." He's like, "Yeah, but it's like, hey, but he's kind of on the Kaspa train right now. So is he going to buy a Kaspa miner?" And it's like, well, maybe he got a KS2 or something. Nope, just completely blew that out the water whenever we saw it go online, and I saw 6 terahash. No, it's a KS3. I'm pretty sure the text I sent to him was he loaded a KS3.
Anthony, he called it. He called me out. He's like, I already know. And when the cat was out of the bag, he was not shocked. He was not, it was like he already knew. He envisioned it. He had it. It happened. It just like what we're talking about today. It's like, we're right where we're supposed to be. We're moving forward. We're doing the dang thing. All these things are lining up because it's supposed to. And it's going to continue lining up. And I'm not one to talk like that. I don't. I like facts. I want to see things like when the wife says, "Hey, I want to go to Disney World or something." I'm like, "Well, when I have the money, we'll go," kind of a thing. She's like, "Well, how about we just do this and this, and we can commit to this and this." And like, I'm like, "No." I'm like, "When I have it, so um I don't know. I don't know. It's just GreenMiner is just doing what GreenMiner does, and that's that.
Going up.
Going up. Oh geez. Oh geez. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm here for the ride, and I'm just working. Like you all are, and here we are. You know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in for the long, 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 long haul. We just keep building like this. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's no time frame. There's really no price. None of that stuff's on my mind. Just building, building, and keep moving.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing is it just like if you're patient, you're going to get where you want to get. It might take a while,
Yeah,
but
I
you'll
mean,
get there.
yeah, yeah. What Michael Taylor says, people get the price that they deserve. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know what that is, but just keep building. I'll just keep building.
Yeah, I mean, to think of we're not even we're probably when we get to I don't know, we're about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks away, but from whenever the 1 year anniversary, and I'm sitting here thinking we might get to $2 by then. It's 20 cents, and we have there's 30 days in this month, so we're looking at 18, 19 days.
It was not that long ago. You were saying over $1 ago, hey, we're gonna be, I think, $1 here real soon. And boy, do we blow right through that. Um, and now here we're here and we're closing in on 2.
We broke $1 on March 3rd, and we've stayed above it.
That was not that long
No,
ago. That was not that long ago. Holy, I didn't even think about
yeah.
that. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
So we added 40 cents in 1 month from when that previous holder sold. And then in the month from there, so from March 5th, let's just go to what April 5th was. April 5th, we were at $1.44. So
Yeah.
we've gained in 2 weeks, we've gained almost 40 cents. So maybe we will get to, maybe we'll be at 220, and then we'll be a good 22x from when we took over. And, if we can 22x every year, there's going to be a lot of multimillionaires that are in this group.
Yeah, yeah. I've really enjoyed myself. I'm gonna log off and see you guys in the chat. And yeah, green mine to the moon.
Yeah, I think I want to hop off here too, unless anybody has any questions. I mean, and that's Jason, Greg, and Repo are in here, so I don't know if any of them has a question, whether if they want to post it here. I still got my computer up so I can see anything that's uh, on Telegram. So does anybody have any questions, anything before we go, or else I'm going to probably pop off of here too. Well, I'm not seeing any requests to be unmuted, so I guess I'll take that as a no. But so I appreciate you all coming in. Like I said, we had some big news today about how we're going to get these miners off of the repayment mode and onto burn mode. We're made a big move on that with $2,000 worth of buys. Got about 1,000 tokens in there. 4,500 left to go. So hopefully we can get these knocked out soon. Other than that, that's really it. We'll just keep on going, and as we get to the point where we have some information as far as the C corp, set up, and if the new set of investors is willing to jump on with us, we'll let you know as soon as we have something hammered on that. I don't want to give any, false representation that that's something that's happening relatively soon, and you should buy now to get in before all that. We're still a little bit into that, so we've got some time to get there, but we'll keep you all updated, and I appreciate you hopping in. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. I'll talk to you later.